Today, Tuesday, the 29th of April. April's coming to an end in 2025. Today, um, EON Rand is brought to you by the NBA and Doc Rivers. So Doc Rivers is down 3-1 in the series, and I know, as you journalists, when you put things online, you don't want to be too early to things, and I don't. I'll be honest with you, I don't care because I'm going to be early to things, and even if they somehow come back in this series, which I don't think they will, without Dame and whatever, the Indiana's pretty much been dominating this whole series. It doesn't look like the Milwaukee Bucks will come back. And even if they somehow come back, they're not winning the title, most likely. I doubt they're winning the title. So I want to say this. Even if they make the finals, I'm just going to say this. Okay? And lose. Doc Rivers, you were given $1 trillion every time, every job, and you only came out with about $1 million. Yeah, you're still rich as heck, and you still have this nice resume that nobody else could say they have. Not most people can't say they have, and that's winning a title. Let's be honest. Ever since, besides for the Boston job, which the beginning of the year you were a lottery team, and that's fine, whatever. People go through bad times all the time. And Kevin Garnett fall into your lap. Danny Ainge making that trade, making that risk for Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett that offseason. I believe it was a month apart from each other or something like that. And you win a title your first year with them. And after that, I'll give you credit for 2010. I'll give you credit. But after the 2010 finals, you lost to the Lakers up 3-2. You've been flat out, I'm going to call this garbage. Garbage. Maybe in 2012, you went to 7 with Miami. Nobody expected you to go to 7. You've been absolutely trash. Trash. And the reason why I'm going after you, the main reason I'm going after you, is because you defended yourself and said it's never my fault. You've defended yourself. You've talked about how you were good. You turned around the Clippers. When the Clippers, with Vinny Del Negro, made the second round 2 years before, they lose in 7, I believe, to Memphis, if I'm not mistaken, with Vinny Del Negro, the second year with Chris Paul. And they traded for you. And at that time, I'll be honest, I think the Clippers did a great, took the risk, and they should have done that. I don't blame them for doing that. But they were the same team with Vinny Del Negro and you. And they kept getting better players. Now I'm just going to say this. You were the GM. You were getting better players. But you were terrible. You didn't know what you were doing. You got out-coached. You got outplayed by Houston. You've been a disaster. Then you went, and then after the Clippers, you get a job within 20 minutes to the Philadelphia 76ers. You were a disaster there. You were given a golden, another billions of dollars, aka poured in from Brooklyn, to give you James Harden. You were given a young guy, Ben Simmons. Whether that's Ben Simmons, at the end of the day, it's his fault. Oh, it's not his fault Ben Simmons like that. Yeah, it kind of was. I mean, the main fault is Ben Simmons, but you were part of the problem with Ben Simmons. Where Ben Simmons was this gifted guy with Joel Embiid, the best center in the league, and the last time I checked in the playoffs, he was always playing. You've been flat out trash. You've been flat out garbage. Garbage. And then after Philly, you get fired. And you start defending yourself about all these things in Philly, about blowing leads. By the way, against Atlanta, you down 3-1. Talking about the history of you and every team. And you said Orlando, when you were in Orlando, look at the roster. You had Tracy McGrady. You had Tracy freaking McGrady, who was the leading scorer of the league. Tracy McGrady was a special talent and a player, and a lot of times, and he was healthy when he played for you those years. And in Houston, he had a couple of great years. Not a ton. He got hurt at the end of the day, and that was a problem. But man, this guy was showing his greatness without you. Everybody's showing their greatness without you. You go to Milwaukee, then you get a gift from God after a 30-13 record, and what do you do with that stupid thing? You go 500 the rest of the year with Milwaukee. When they were giving Dame Lillard, who was a future Hall of Famer, and he was a Hall of Famer mainly without you, and Giannis Antetokounmpo was a 2-time MVP without you, and a champion without you, and you've been flat out trash. And last year you go, after the first round when Dame was hurt, and Giannis was hurt the last game of the season, by the way, you said, well, what would you do if our two best players, Jokic and... You were going to make the excuse after losing this one. Most likely. Okay? And I'm putting it out there. I know as a journalist, you're supposed to do things when the story is already confirmed and the story is already written. You're not supposed to do things when before the story's out. I know in today's world, I'm going to be a part of it. You want to be the first, not the first that's correct. You don't want to be right. You want to be first. Okay, but you've been absolutely trash. You're a trash coach. And the reason why I say that, the main reason, like I said before, is because you were the one who brought it up. You bring it up every time. And that's the problem. You had the Chris Paul years. You had the Kawhi Leonard, where Jerry West gave you a gift that brought in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And you complained about that, losing 3-1 to Denver in the bubble. The pop bubble, whatever it was. You just always find a way. And that way, that team made the conference round the next year without you. When you were in Philly blowing a 3-1 lead to Atlanta. I'm not going to say Atlanta. They weren't the greatest team I've ever seen. Shout out Trae Young for that. But he's good. He's a good player, Trae. But, like, I haven't seen Atlanta be close to these accomplishments. I think the Atlanta Hawks got to thank you for, like, right? Don't know the Atlanta Hawks, they pretty much have to thank you for being in a conference championship. I mean, Jokic was great, but we didn't. I mean, I guess Jokic was built confidence by your Clipper team. I mean, you just. I'm just serious. Like, they've given you trillions of dollars, and you left alone with $1 million because of that one championship in Boston. But ever since, it's been downhill ever since, and it's been a disaster. I'll give you the Boston tenure when Garnett showed up. Pretty decent, but with Boston, but everywhere else, and you've been bragging about how good you are as a head coach in this league. Who are you to brag? That's the problem. Like, I hear a lot of great coaches in the history of the game, in the history of sports, say, "Oh, it's all the players." And I know privately they're thinking something else, but like, dude, you come out with excuses, dude. You're not good. You're not good. And I'm just calling you out for it. I'm calling, Doc, I don't understand. Like, is someone going to give him another opportunity? Is he going to go on TV for about 30 days and praise John Moran and go to Memphis or something like that? I don't know, because teams have been getting fooled all the time. Well, Doc is a championship head coach. I mean, Milwaukee, they've been a disaster since they got him. By the way, I'm just going to say this. They say they've been a disaster since they got rid of Drew Holiday. They were 30-13 for that new coach that they got, who was assistant in Toronto, I believe. And you just threw him into the garbage can, like blaming him for a 30-13 record because the guy was tough. And I'm just letting you know, and you hired Doc because he had championship experience. Dude, you know what championship experience? You fired the guy, Coach Budenholzer. Like him or not, that guy's been a more champion. He's been a champion more recent than guess who? Doc Rivers. I mean, Doc Rivers, he's been a bum. I mean, just a bum. Because you talk how good you are. That's the problem. Like, every other coach has won one championship and it's been up and down, like Frank Vogel. I don't really hear Frank Vogel talk. I don't hear Mike Budenholzer talk about how bad it is and how good it is. I don't even hear Tom Thibodeau, who never won a championship, by the way, was assistant on your 2008 team. And by the way, you haven't made you haven't made the finals since he left you back in 2010, being the defensive coach. But whatever, you're the head coach, you get the credit. I never heard him say we won because we lost because of me. We won because of me in Chicago. We lost not because of me. We lost. I hear this guy do this all the time. I mean, he might be the only coach besides for Phil Jackson to ever do this. And Phil, he's got 11 championships. You can't say anything about Phil because Phil wrote a book how great of a coach he is. I read that book. Nice, good book. Good, nice stories. But Phil is the only basketball coach that I could remember to talk about how, I was the one who won all these championships. I'm talking about NBA coach. I don't remember many other coaches that talked about how great they were as a coach. maybe back in the day, but like everybody else talks about, like even Pat Riley goes, yeah, Magic, Kareem, LeBron, Shaq, and D Wade. This is the only guy, so that's the problem. And just whatever, he's a bum. That's all I'm gonna say.